Hi, boys and girls. Our book for today is Harold Snipperpot's Best Disaster Ever by Beatrice Alemagna. And I read her book on a magical do-nothing day. I really loved it, so I'm really excited for this one. We borrowed this book from the Central Skagit Library. Some days feel like complete disasters. You feel turned upside down, and it seems impossible that anything good could happen. Well, let me tell you the whole story from the beginning. It was 1 week before the disaster, and I was turning 7. More than anything, I, Harold Philip Snipperpot, wanted a real birthday party. I had never had one because my parents hated parties. If you want to know why, it's because they were very grumpy. They never hugged or laughed, and forget about a kiss goodnight, they barely even talked. So each year on my birthday, nothing happened. But this year, I felt extra sad. So sad that my parents got worried. So worried that they decided to do something about it. We'll call up Mr. Ponzio, my mom said. Everyone in our neighborhood goes to Mr. Ponzio with their problems. That's what his job is, to solve people's problems in very original ways. I don't have any kids to send over, but I've got another idea, Mr. Ponzio explained. Don't worry one bit, Mrs. Snipperpot. This party will be absolutely extraordinary. But will it make our son happy? Yes, of course it will, he said. Trust me, you will never forget it. So my parents agreed. On the day of the party, our house looked great, all decked out with ribbons, banners, and a rainbow of balloons. When the doorbell rang, I ran to answer it, and whoa! We couldn't believe what we saw. There were real animals, a line of them, winding all the way up the street to our front door. We were flabbergasted. The animals made their way into our house one by one. At first, everything was fine, sorry, and my parents almost seemed to be enjoying themselves. But before too long, something changed. The animals began behaving like animals. Large mammals, I know now, are born decorators. They immediately moved the furniture around and opened and wrecked every drawer. A polar bear clawed the velvet sofa, while a small herd of sheep and pigs gobbled up the stuffing and ate each pillow. A giraffe reached up and chomped the crystals right off our Art Deco chandelier, a family heirloom, and that was when my father collapsed. Upstairs in my room, an elephant was taking a nap in my bed and, oh no, completely squashed my new electric racetrack. Where was Mr. Ponzio? This was a mess. Meanwhile, a medium-sized flock of birds flew into the kitchen and performed a symphony on my grandmother's china. A family of turtles and their reptile friends demolished my father's library and gnawed an entire shelf of his rare book collection. A hippo found her way into the bathroom, ran a tub, and was soaking. All her pond pals followed, overflowing the tub and flooding the floor. My poor mom, she was too afraid to look. Frolicking in my mother's closet were a seal, 3 monkeys, an armadillo, and others trying on her tulle skirts and her silk scarves and tearing them to shreds. A goat was wearing her shoes. Our house was destroyed, ruined, turned upside down. Worse yet, it was buried underneath a carpet of animal poo, every type, which really stank. The party was absolutely extraordinary, all right. Just then a huge alligator flashed 2 rows of sharp teeth at my parents, who, utterly terrified, jumped into an old steamer trunk. Oh no, the lid snapped shut and locked them inside. I was trying to saw the lid off to free them when out of nowhere, Mr. Ponzio appeared, waving a stick. At the sight of the stick, the elephant panicked and scampered toward the door. I had just enough time to grab its ears and the rest of the animals followed. There I was, on an elephant, galloping through town while my parents screamed like crazy from inside a steamer trunk on top of a rhino. What a disaster! But when I looked around, it all suddenly seemed funny. Crowds of people snapped photos in the streets, adding even more commotion and chaos. And I was there at the front of the line when I had the greatest idea. I, Harold Philip Snipperpot, took charge and led the entire parade toward the fountain, where each animal stopped and took a sip of water, including the rhino, who dropped the steamer trunk, which fell to the ground and finally opened. My parents climbed out, looking very relieved, and in front of everyone, I could hardly believe it, gave each other a big kiss. A giant, passionate one, just like in a movie. And then they gave one to me. Seeing those kisses, the chameleons displayed their prettiest colors, which reflected in the water and lit up the entire park. Children from all over the neighborhood ran to see. Some climbed the giraffe's neck, while others sat atop the alligator's back, and others gave the lion a new hairdo. As for me, my mom swept me up in the air as I laughed and laughed. I was so happy I began to cry real tears. I'm having my own birthday party, I shouted. Oh, sorry. Happy birthday, yelled my father. Happy birthday, screamed all the kids. Since that day, my parents and I meow and growl. We whinny and moo. We open our mouths wide and roar with laughter. And if we have something important to say, we snort. How funny, said my mom, that the animals made us feel more human. Mr. Ponzio is our friend now. He's fixed a lot of the broken stuff in my house, even my electric racetrack. So do you see what I'm trying to say about disasters? When disaster strikes, unbelievable things really can happen. And if you ask me, goodnight kisses and great new friends are definitely worth the mess. The end. That was a beautiful book. All right, boys and girls, we hope you enjoyed that book. Have a great day.